Hi everyone. So I thought I'd do a slightly more casual video where it's almost like a follow on from the do it yourself Raffle website video, the long content one where I basically build from scratch on how to use the Raffle website and the template. So this is almost like an extension of that where I would build in front of you uh, basically a Raffle website that's branded in a certain way. So that could be like this video, it's going to be all around kind of Netflix's branding. And that means it's going to be like a red and black themed competition website. So hopefully you'll basically learn a wee bit in this tutorial of how to brand your website a wee bit better than before. Because I kind of know that with the other videos, it's all about kind of setting up and making sure everything's in place for your competition website to run well, but I don't really go into much detail of how to really change the look of the website. And to a lot of you, that's all that matters. You don't really mind if it runs right. You just kind of want things to look well, which is fair enough. Anyway, so I'm going to jump in, going to style the competition website, going to set one up quickly. This is going to be assuming that you've watched the last video. So if this is your first video you're watching on the DIY Raffle website, I'd recommend the other one I've made this just the start of this year, 2022, and then come back if you want to then go a bit further into this, which is going to be learning how to brand the website into something a wee bit more along the lines of what you want. But this is going to be a slightly more casual video, so it might be a bit longer. I'm not going to cut much out because I want you to see as much as I can, but I'll take out a little time. I'm just thinking because I haven't made this yet, so this is kind of on a bit of a whim. Right, we'll set up the base demo website so far, or using the template. So be breezywp.com, log in. Ryan from the future here. I wouldn't be a good YouTuber if I didn't ask you to like the video before we get started. I'm editing the video right now and I'm like, I really should ask people to like it. Small video, small channel, all the rest of it. If you wouldn't mind just clicking the like button before this guy teaches you how to make a Netflix version of the website. Anyway, cheers, enjoy the video. Right, I'm going to add it to my WordPress demo server. So how to create all this is all done in the other tutorial website or tutorial video. So we'll create a site and we will call it Netflix. So that's going to be on a subdomain and then on the breezywp.com domain. So we'll install that, and while that's installing, we'll go to my DNS settings. Not going to really show these on screen, but we're going to add an A record for Netflix. .breezywp.com and then point it towards the IP address. Click on save. So hopefully that won't take too long to propagate. Next we'll go to Netflix here. Wait for that to fully install. So you'll know when it's fully installed when a couple of buttons come up around the bottom here. So it's where it says like install SSL certificate, install template, all those kind of good things. So we'll keep on refreshing until that comes up. Just like that. Almost by magic. So first thing we'll do is install the template. I've already purchased the Raffle website template. That is in the template section of this website and in the previous video. So all done there. We'll click download. That'll download that to our website. But before we go, we will install the SSL certificate as well. While we're here, click on automated, click on install. Again, that'll go off behind the scenes and install that for us. It just makes it so much more simple. Like we don't have to do all this stuff after the fact. It can be done just as before you get started, get it out of the way, and then you can view the website. So I'm going to go to DNS. Right, okay, there we go. So group tabs together. No, don't want to do that. So I'm going to log into the website using the admin login. Copy the password. Doug, you can dismiss all that. Remove all this stuff so it looks a bit nicer. And we go to the all-in-one WP migration, backups, restore. Proceed. Okay, that should be it done. We'll go back. Good stuff. Well, there's our base competition website. Ready in a matter of minutes, which is great. We'll log back in. My eye. Okay, I'm gonna log in. Okay, looks like we have some raffle options. We'll uncheck that. Go back to the site and see what we're going to change first. So the main thing is going to be the color scheme. So we will go into the color scheme, but we'll also need probably the Netflix's logo. So just type in Netflix logo, PNG, images. Right, now I've got the logo. See what Netflix's color, the red is. So Netflix red hex code. And then this is the color hex code that they use for their logo and all the rest of it. So we're going to use that in our theme. So back to theme options, colors. And we're actually just going to use a pretty standard or pretty basic color scheme first, and then change what we need. So it is going to be a dark website. I know that. Netflix is a slightly, well, it is very black actually. It's like black and then some grays and stuff here. You can kind of see that, this isn't white. This is like black, or not black, but like dark gray on a black background. So what we're going to do, I'm just seeing which one of these might work best. So I think maybe Nightfire, and then change the reds here to even darker red, the Netflix red. So a couple of gradients there. Just see where it says, I think DF1238 or something like that. Just going to change those to red. This is a good way of knowing what color you want, but you don't want to, have to guess what everything does here. You pick basically a pre-made color scheme and then change the main color. So you'll see this primary color as well. Probably just going to change that to a full color. We don't need a gradient on them. Makes things a bit easier. No messing about. So there's a couple of oranges in there, but we'll change those later. I think these dark backgrounds, we'll change them to all the zeros, which is black. Back to the home page. So you can see it's coming on a wee bit. I probably do want these to be in red. These kind of backgrounds, so we'll show how to change that. But the gist of it is there. We've got that kind of red and white kind of theme. And we'll add the logo in as well. So we'll go back to the theme options and then headers, main. And just where the logo is, I'm going to dump that one. I'm going to drag in the one we've just created or downloaded and create Netflix's logo. All right, that looks good to me. Now I will edit this image because it is extremely big. So we'll crop it down. Just like that. Hit crop again. Hit save. It's the fastest way to crop images. I'm gonna edit it again because it is like 2000 pixels wide, which is far too much. So we'll maybe put it down to 500 or maybe 600. It'll just make the file size even smaller and make things load faster. So I think those heights. So if you do want to change the height and width of your logo, I would recommend playing about with these styles or this height section. I do want this, so I'm not going to put the menu in the middle. I'm going to send it over to the right hand side, the top area. I'm actually going to change the header at the top to red. So you see the way, I'm going to try and explain this a wee bit better, but see where it says top area, that, and it highlights it. All these colors are able to change from here, and you can just do a drop down and click on the color you want. Next we can go to the main area, which is the middle one. Again, change the background color, anything you want. I actually might do a transparent background at the very top, so we'll show you how to do that. But because we've moved the menu over, we no longer want the center the image, or center the middle cell here. Click save changes there, and then go up to the top area, change the top background area to the primary color. So the text, link on hover, change that to maybe black on hover. Link text is like this gray. Remember, we just seen that at the bottom here, which is this like gray. The basket's fine there. All right. I'll save that. We'll just see what that looks like quickly. We go back to the website. So there we go. We've got a good red banner at the very top, that kind of grey text, big Netflix logo. I do think this would look good as a transparent background, so we'll do that. If I go into headers, general settings, see where it says transparent header, click on that, give this another refresh, and there we go. I wouldn't mind that still to be red at the very top, but it still does look pretty good. The transparent header not only makes obviously the header transparent, but whatever's behind the header will be like pushed up. You can kind of see that this slider now goes right to the top, and because that's right to the top, I think we should make this a deeper one, so maybe extend it by another 20%. So we'll do that. Go to grid layouts, homepage slider, edit, and then within, I think it's this area, I put the spacing, yeah, so Vmax, I'm pretty sure. Now, yeah, it was in post image. So if you go into post image and then design and then sizes, so 60 VH means view height, so 60% of the height of the page basically. So this is about 60% of the page height. Where we're going to change this to maybe like 75%. And then if you want to change that depending on laptop, and then tablet, and then on mobile device, so maybe if you want to make that slightly bigger, you can do that. 60, and then we'll change this to 70. Click save changes. Save changes again, top right. Give this another refresh. You can kind of see how that's gotten a lot bigger. Looks quite good. Now I wonder if that looks okay on mobile. So double check, click on developer tool. Developer tools on the right hand side is very easy. You can click, if I get rid of this, you can right click and click on, inspect page source, which is probably not the best. But underneath that, if you click on inspect, you get this wee panel on the right hand side. You don't really have to worry about this, but it has this wee responsive tool, which is very useful to see on desktop what it looks like on mobile. So at the very top, I usually click on iPhone. So there's iPhone 12 Pro, and that'll give me what this will look like on an iPhone 12 Pro size wise. So Netflix, it is quite big there, but I think it's okay. And then you can just scroll on through. Now the menu, yeah, the menu's fine. I am happy with that, and this slider section is pretty good, the way we've changed it to that size. I think on mobile, it's best not to have a transparent header because it can crunch things into a smaller space, where a wee bit more space is best. So go back to the main site. Now we will change these competitions and the images in them because I think they clash a bit with the red Netflix style. Great that this background is already black for our Netflix. It goes on brand. I would say the font needs to change. You can kind of see on Netflix's website, their font is pretty, it's not as I can't find the word for it, but it just looks slightly different. We can Google what their font is. So is Bibis New. Now we do have access to all Google's fonts. Google fonts are free. So sometimes if you want an alternative for a font, if you type in the font and then to say Google fonts alternative. So, oh, it's already a Google font. We can just use that. Brilliant. So we'll close a few things down here because we've got 100 tabs open. All right, so to change the font, we'll go into typography. And at the moment, it's Joseph Sans. So we can type in Bibis New here. Simple. I don't really think that's very close, do you? We'll select it, but I'm not holding out for it. God's sake. Save changes, go back to the website, see what that looks like. I mean, that is nowhere near Netflix font. Or maybe it's the font of their logo, but I kind of want their normal font. All right, I've got another way here. 1 second. It's Helvetica New. Hopefully this is on the theme options, just like we had before. Helvetica New is not. So maybe best just using Arial because it is a Helvetica version. There we go. Save those. Back to the website, see what that looks like. Yeah, it's slightly more standard kind of font wise. Here we have these kind of like how to play things. We can change these so they use again Netflix red background color that we got earlier. The website is called Storyblocks or Story Free Pick Story Set, I think it's called. Yeah, that's it there. So on the left hand side you can change the color, and then I'm going to get this Netflix color again, or well, it's on my website. Give that a copy, put this into the hex code down the bottom right, and you'll see that it changes all the kind of primary colors of this, all these photos that you can use in your website. So on the left hand side, what do we have? Go back to the website, close a few things down again. So we have a few things. So we got the thank you, gonna get the social, and then the delivery one. So if we go for thank you or enter any of these, so type in something like enter, just see what comes up. Our color hasn't stuck. Have a quick look. Right, okay, so we found the one we used before. I just typed in purchase and it came up there. So you can make them slightly simpler if you just want nothing in the background. I think I'll do that with this one. But where it says background, you can go simple, which is like this kind of blob, or detailed. I'm going to go with hidden and then download PNG. So while I'm here, I'm going to add in social one. Maybe live. Look out for our live draws, yeah. So I'm going to look for live stream. Not use that one. Yeah, I can see this one working. Looks like a broadcast. These are all like podcast ones. That's the one I've used before. We might as well stick to what we know. We'll go to the simple ones. We'll take away those hearts and likes because that's a bit cringy. Yeah, leave that live in there. So we'll go download PNG. Good stuff. And then we're looking for delivery. No. Post. Deposit. Alright, okay. So we could just use this, it's quite funny. Simple. Yeah. Download PNG. So we've got our 3 PNGs there downloaded just at the bottom of the page. I'm gonna go back and then edit. I think this is to do with the home page, so we can just click on edit on the home page. And then here, all very well laid out for you. So we're just going to upload all 3 of these at once. Uploading images can take a wee while because not only is it making a few different sizes for you so it can be more optimized, but it's also optimizing every single one of those as well. So as long as you're on a fast server like I am at the minute, these will be fine. So we're going to click on that one. These are extremely big, but it's fine. You can crop them or resize them like we did for the logo, but I don't think they're that big of images. 88 KB, so they're fine. Remove that, put the piggy bank in, update, go back to the homepage of the website. It's all looking pretty good. Few things that changed to red, like this boundary. We'll show you how to do that in a wee moment. But most of the other stuff has used the primary color for, the likes of this winner section, the titles. It all looks pretty good. We do need to change this logo at the bottom. And that reminds me, if I go to settings in general, in here where it says DIY Raffle, I'm going to change this to Netflix Breezy WP. That'll change things on the homepage as well. If I give this a refresh, you'll see it'll update here and it'll update here. So good stuff. So before I go and change the footer area, I'm going to change this part of the grid, which is the border. So if I go to get found, grid layouts, product layout 2, edit, and then see where it almost looks like a border already. So this kind of wrapper around these elements, we can edit, go to design, then border, and then you can see this is the border width on the, border radius. So that's the curve. So this kind of curve is 5 pixels, and then the border width is 8 pixels. So from left to right there, just 8 pixels. I think that's fine. We can then select the border color from this drop down, best just to go down to primary color. Click on save. Now, I would say if I go to Netflix here, I would say Netflix is quite like even their logo is quite straight, you know, the edges. There isn't really much of a radius to things. Yeah, so see these edges here? This is what I would look for if I was going to add a radius to the website, or some elements of the website that kind of round off the corners. So I think I'm going to remove the radius just because of that. So border radius, none. Save that. Save changes. We can also find this in a couple of other places. So where it goes, I think in the button section. So if we go to button styles, we don't have a radius on this, I don't think. Yeah, so this border radius, it's set to 0 at the minute, which is great because we don't want that kind of curved edge. We want quite a stark looking website. Now, if I go to their buttons are red background with a white text. If I go to theme options, you'll see that we have like a black text. So we'll go set that to white. So the same as headings. I would say this orange I was going to come back to later, but this content secondary, I think this should be a slightly duller red. So when you roll over, you can kind of get, or maybe it's a brighter red. Yeah, it's a brighter red. So I'll actually make that a brighter red. So when you roll over our buttons, it doesn't go to orange, it goes to like a brighter red. So we'll do that now. So we'll go save changes. See where it says content secondary here? You can kind of line that up when you're in the color section. So there's secondary color, which is, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So to make this a bit brighter, we're going to go copy that in there and then just go right to the red at the very top. That's as red as she gets. So FF0000. I'm going to make that the same across all of the oranges on the website. Hope this is entertaining for you. Go back to the website, gives this another refresh. There we go. You can see the sides of the borders look quite good. Yeah, looks great. So you can see on hover, it changes to black. Is that the case? No. I think we should remove that as well then. Button styles. So this is the hover section. So if that didn't make sense, I'm going to give this a refresh. So this is the hover section. So this is what it looks like all the time. And then if you hover over it, this is what happens. So the content secondary, which is the brighter of the reds, and then content BG, but we'll just copy this, put it in here, or you can go again for the drop down. I don't think that's fully white. Or maybe in my content heading, yeah. Maybe my eyes are just playing tricks maybe there. Playing tricks. Save changes. Go back to the website. It is a lot of back and forth. You'll see you'll just always be going back to the theme options, changing something, seeing what that looks like on the website. It's always the way. There's no getting away from it. Right, okay. We don't need that anymore. Netflix, we'll leave that open just in case we want to see something a wee bit later. Right, so we'll go back to the homepage and see what's next. Give this a refresh. I quite like these things in white. I think they look great. Our how to play section is finished. I would say that's pretty good. So our lucky winners here. Again, I don't think there's anything really to change there. Just this footer section. We've already got this kind of grey to the footer, which is great. You'll see at the bottom of the footer here. Now, this might be a good idea to change on our FAQ section, but we'll get to that. But you'll see in this footer, it's quite a dull footer, which is grand, but we'll stick the Netflix logo in here as well. So edit page, and then instead of clicking on edit page, you go down to footer, or you can find this in page blocks, footer. Okey doke. Change that there. Get rid of that. Put Netflix in. Now, I have a feeling that this might be massive. So if I go update, I kind of think it fits. Yeah, that's not too bad because it kind of goes small, medium, large. Netflix, Breezy WP at the bottom. Now you can change these. Won't have to do this right now, but down the left hand side, social links. Add your social links in, save changes, click update. Easy as that. Now, I mentioned about the FAQs. I think we could change the FAQs to look more like Netflix here, where it's got this like space between, but also this kind of grey background. We'll not need to do this because that's just going a step too far, really. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I will go ahead and edit that page and see what I can do here. Right, okay. I've had a wee think off screen here just to see how will I do this. So the best way to do it is go into your FAQs, and you'll see at the top of each of these there's like an accordion, and basically that means you're going to select that whole section. So there'll be draw mechanics and then tickets. Each of those are going to be separate accordions, but I'll show you how to copy it. Once you do it once, you'll be able to copy it onto the next one pretty simply. So accordion, click on edit. I did say we wouldn't look into doing this plus, but in fact there is actually a plus sign down there that we can just change that to. Design. Basically, to change things, we're going to have to go to design, click on the background. I have got the color that Netflix uses, which is 2A. Just like that, which is darker than I thought. Did I get the right one? Yeah, 2A. And then the text is going to be white. We'll go down to headings, use that one again. Okay, we'll save those changes and then we'll go preview. You kind of see how that's made something slightly similar to this. Yeah, good stuff. Very good. There just isn't that space between, and I think without doing custom CSS, which I could do in this video, but I think there's no point in just kind of nearly showing off these just to do things. I think that looks as good as it needs to be. 90% of the way there. Looks pretty good. Now we can copy that onto the next ones. This kind of plus thing at the side, and change that. So one thing you can do is click on the accordion again, go to design, and at the very top you can go copy, click save changes, and then just go into here, click that plus, click paste, apply, go down again, do the next for the payment section, plus, paste, apply, change that to plus, update, see what that looks like on the page. Click on FAQs. There we go. So it's pretty cool the way that kind of jumps down. This changes to a black X. Wonder what happens when it's on them. Yeah, just a normal X in their website. But I think that looks pretty good. Not bad for about 5-10 minutes work. Obviously you can change all your logos and stuff to match, but so we'll go back to the homepage and go into a couple of the competitions, see if there's anything we can update on the competition side of things. I think with the red is looking good there. I think that looks all pretty good because a lot of the changes to make in this section of the website do have to be done with custom CSS. Unfortunately, they're not as easily editable as the other parts of the website just because of the amount that goes on in this section of the website. Editing things isn't just as easy. There's your postal entry route in your in the Netflix red. All good. Now go to winners. Just want to check that, make sure that everything's kind of on brand. Just makes it so much easier to change that whole color scheme in one fell swoop, and every page is kind of on brand, like I said. Go to winners, my account. Now I will go and change these pictures and then come back just to show you like what happens when you also brand your pictures. Like websites, yes, the framework, as long as you're branding the framework, yes, great, but you also need to be branding your pictures. Your pictures are, you know, pretty much what the clients look at first. So I'm going to make 3 different pictures here, hopefully on the same kind of red and black branding for a couple of different competitions. I'll head back and I'll show you the kind of effect that they can make to make the whole thing look professional. All right. Alright, so I've made 3 large photos with this kind of semi-dark background, and then with a cutout, a PNG of the different competitions. So I'm going to stick them on the website. Just get rid of this kind of orange background. So we'll go to products, all products. Remove all those. So the ones we have on the website at the moment, the homepage anyway, is the Bangkok trip, the iPhone, and the car. So edit those 3. Just changing the profile picture. Remove. Now I think just like I did with the how to play images, what I'm going to do is go to here, drag them in. So drag them all in at once so we don't have to keep on uploading. Give these a wee refresh. So when I do add the pictures, so I think this is the car, is it? Yeah, so that's the car image. Good stuff. I think the red will really match well with the website. Looking forward to seeing that. We'll put the plane in this one. We've even got like a semi, reddish plane. They look, the images look quite plain, but once they're on the website, they've got all this information around them. You don't always have to stick loads of information into an image. It's like my YouTube thumbnails, like they're horrific. I should put less information in them, and then people will read the titles. But maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do that with this thumbnail. You can hold me accountable for that. Right, remove this one. No, I don't want that. Product image. Be good to get a red iPhone there, but sure. Can't always be on brand. Go back to the site, and there we go. So you can see nice big image of a plane, phone. The dark background really matches in is what I'm trying to say. It looks, to be honest, I think it looks great. Even that looks amazing. Just really blends in with the red of the background. Just look professional. And the reason you want your website to look professional, you don't have to change things, make them wildly different. All you need to do is give people the trust that your website is professional. And that can be done by, just like I've done in the last, 40 minutes on this video. You don't have to change a lot. You just have to go for a color scheme. Keep everything relatively the same to the template, because if you're not an experienced web developer, you can move things and then all of a sudden it's like a big old jigsaw puzzle. Everything's everywhere. Things are missing. Doesn't bode well, but there it is. We can go ahead and go back to this one. Pick your number. Make sure you answer the question first. View the basket. And there we go. Now you can kind of see that there's no real borders to this, so that could be a bit of a UI issue, which is user interface. If we go to theme options and then field style, I think, yeah, you can kind of see there's no, or even the border is too light. So maybe you make a white border. Maybe you put the border red as well. That could be quite cool on focus. So where is this shadow? Save changes, see what that looks like. Or maybe we could move this so it actually uses the same color as the FAQs. So if we go to the FAQs again, pages, FAQs. So that dark background looked quite good with the, so yeah, 2A with white. So maybe we go the background that color and then the text in white. Click OK. Where is this border? Border width 1. Does that look silly? Oh, it looks quite cool. And then when you click on it, it goes red. I think it looks pretty cool. And there we go. Cash only. Place order. There we go. One person did want this changed, which was the text color of this. With a wee bit of CSS, you can kind of click on that using this tool. Then you can just click on an element. So there we go. And then teach a wee bit of CSS here. So this is the class here where it says P for paragraph and then goes WooCommerce notice. And then there's a few different classes in there. So you got WooCommerce notice -- success, WooCommerce thank you order received. So what we're going to do is actually copy this, which is WooCommerce notice success. And then when you're doing custom CSS for a class, you need to start it with a dot. So you'll see I've already got some custom CSS in here, but if you do a dot, that means it's a class. And then you go paste that in here, which is the WooCommerce notice -- success. I found that by getting the inspect element up. So inspect, clicking on, what's this called? Trying to hover over it to see it. Select an element in the page to inspect it. So you can click on that. Click on what you want to inspect. Find the class name. Now, class names can be used over like multiple things. So I would try and look for one that is just that, you know. So that's why WooCommerce. There it is. So WooCommerce notice -- success seems to be, from reading it, that would be this only. So we'll go back to here, open up some brackets, and then anything in here is going to apply to just that section. So we're going to change the color, the American way of spelling color, and then we can put our hex code in here for, if I go to colors, and then because there's already a color on it and we're kind of trying to override it, you can put in exclamation point important. That basically means that doesn't matter where the CSS gets loaded, because CSS loads from start to finish, and whatever is at the bottom gets applied. But say this custom code gets added before another color, not to like blow your head trying to teach you CSS here. It just means important will override whatever. It's like the, you know, fuck yeah, I'm coming through kind of thing. Save changes. Give this another wee refresh. And there we go. It is as simple as that. Maybe you want to make that bold. You go font weight bold. Click save. It's quite good fun. I would recommend trying your hand at CSS. It's a good skill to have. HTML, all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully this video has been good to you. Leave me a comment that you want to see a style of website you would like me to brand, and I'll try and do it for you and see what I can come up with. But all the best. Hopefully it was good. Cheers.